All right, good afternoon. We're going to begin here momentarily. Just want to make sure everybody hears us all right, that you're tuned in, turned on. Please feel free to chat in. The chat is open and more than capable of reading it. And let us know where you guys are joining us from today. We'll start with some informalities and jump right into this here in just a few moments. But again, feel free to chat in. Let us know. By the way, I'm reading the Q&A live over here. Fantastic. Okay. Few of you guys are chatting in right now. By the way, a couple of I guess informal things that are always asked here. Is this recorded? It's recorded. Number two, you can ask questions. Please ask questions. Let's make this interactive. It's no fun for me just talking to you guys for the next 90 minutes. I'm always curious where everybody is joining us from. So, feel free to chat that in. And here you can see where I am. Where am I? In an office that you've probably never been to. No, I am live from the U.S. Virgin Islands. So nice. I like this. Don the Trader. You couldn't be any further away from me. You're on the big island of Hawaii. Can you get a little further away from me here? So I'm almost 1,000 miles just back to Florida. All right. So welcome everybody. My name is Don Kaufman. We're going to start here momentarily. By the way, somebody was saying, where's the best place to chat? Okay, this one's definitely the chat box. The Q&A, I can see that one too. I've actually got both of them up. By the way, if you see me guys, if you see me looking around, I have a monitor here, monitor here, monitor here, monitor there, monitor almost everywhere. We have, I use 6 monitors. And, on all honesty, like people always say, like, you need 6 monitors to trade. No, I don't. I actually use 3 screens for trading. And then I use 3 to kind of run the broadcast because, well, you get it. Like to run the broadcast over here, and I'm always chatting with other traders. That's this screen down here. If you see me looking at that one, chatting with some other traders. There's a lot going on, people. Anyway, welcome everybody. This is a TheoTrade presentation. And again, I like to make it interactive. So if you ask the question, can I ask questions? The answer is absolutely, unequivocally yes. I rather enjoy it. I'll be answering questions throughout the course of today's presentation. And seriously, I encourage it. I absolutely encourage it. I am watching markets in real time over here. Obviously, I've got Tastyworks screen up, a couple of position statements, and a few positions I'm looking at. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the high probability guide to beating the bear market. So there is a strategy that I have been employing for now the better part of over 2 years, and I continue to employ it for the better part of 2 years. The strategy mildly changed, but this is something I've been discussing constantly, and I'm going to continue, of course, that discussion today. Just want to know what's working in this marketplace? Well, we're going to display it. By the way, one thing I am very, very adamant about when you come here to TheoTrade, we show everything. This is no holds barred. So I do trade on Tastyworks. I also still hold accounts, some accounts over here on obviously on thinkorswim, which is now owned by Charles Schwab. You'll see me kind of toggling back and forth. When I say though that I share everything, one of the things that I'm pretty adamant about right up front, I will show you everything: account statement, profits and losses. This is year to date right there. So my P&L year to date is $187,000. If you take a look at my net lick, I'm at 354 today. So you can do some math over there of what my P&L is year to date. No capital has been added to this account in any way, shape, or form. So again, you can see everything's in real time. P&Ls are in real time. So again, this is a no holds barred approach. I think that that's one of the most important things. And by the way, I can show you the exact same thing over here in Tastyworks, which we'll discuss here as we move along. But again, welcome everybody. As I said, we're going to be talking about the high probability guide to beating the bear market. Risk disclosure. I used to be in the brokerage business. I'm no longer in the brokerage business. I am out. I'm out of the contest. And I like that. I like it because being out of the brokerage side of the business, which I spent the better part of 15 years in, forgive me for saying this, but you can speak freely now. I'm not, under the restrictions of FINRA and the SEC, but I always throw that up there because I've been out now for since 2015. Let's get down to business. This is why you're here. Okay, go-to strategies. I'm going to show you my go-to strategies in the current market environment. Unequivocally, I'm going to show you the core of what I'm doing. We're going to talk about finding edge as a retail trader. We are going to talk about probabilities or law in the markets. Okay, we're actually going to create some high probability trade setups, really in any market condition. We're also going to learn to reap the benefits of high probability trades by learning how not to get crushed with large losses. We're also going to find the products that are going to make some of the most viable candidates for these trades. I'm going to give you a hint right now. It's really easy to find viable candidates at present time. We're also going to implement income strategies without accumulating more risk. So a few housekeeping items. Listen, I'm going to go at a pretty good clip today. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm probably also going to run about 90 minutes. I am always adding more and more slides to this deck. And listen, you took the time to be here. Focus on being here. Get rid of the kids. Put the phones on silent mode. Ironically, I was just doing that a second ago myself over here. You know, honestly, focus, because I move at a pretty good clip. And the most important thing you guys are going to gather today is a strong education. Strong educational background in exactly what I'm doing. Again, I suggest that even though this is recorded, this is one of those presentations you can watch a multitude of times. Listen, you took the time to be here. This is important. Focus on being here, because this marketplace, this is unforgiving. And I hope that you guys understand that it's going to be unforgiving for a substantial period of time. So here's a little bit about me. Anybody here brand new, have no idea what a Don Kaufman or a TheoTrade even is? Okay, anybody? I'll give you guys just the nickel tour here of TheoTrade. So we launched TheoTrade in 2016. Literally in January of 2016 is when we launched TheoTrade. And TheoTrade, when we built the company, is an educational firm. Okay, we trade live. We constantly trade live, and the crew here. And again, we have 8 full-time instructors, including myself. So it's not just the Don Kaufman show. Many of the instructors here at TheoTrade are from the hedge fund business and or brokerage business. Many of the individuals that work with me on a day-to-day basis are from either thinkorswim and or TD Ameritrade. That happens to be a background where we met many of the traders. So a little background specifically on me as we jump into this. So I always tell people, like, you know, what kind of brought me to you today is I watched order flow for 15 years. And in doing so, that has given me a pretty special skill set that only a handful of people in the entire industry would have. So when I say I watched order flow, some people are not familiar with that. I guess the bottom line of that, and I'll kind of back you into this, I got to see everything that you did. So everything that you did. For those of you that do not know, thinkorswim was a startup brokerage firm launched in about 2001. And I was actually working and contracting with them before they even officially launched. So I actually was on the executive team. We took the company public in 2007. We went on to be acquired by TD, excuse me. We went on to be acquired by TD Ameritrade in 2009. And during the entire tenure at both thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade, I ran the whole educational side of the business. And the way that we looked at education was by looking at your trades. I mean, it makes sense, right? Think about this. You want to know what works in this business. So how do you find out what works in this business? Why don't you go study the largest order flow in the entire options world? Okay, and we did just that. So you study the order flow of clients, you know exactly what works and what doesn't, and you actually can learn from watching billions and others' mistakes of precisely what does work. Anyway, that's where a lot of the background of the education here at TheoTrade effectively comes from. So I grew up around traders, traded in Chicago, started working for thinkorswim. The rest is kind of history. Ended up running education for TD Ameritrade and their 7 million clients. And that's a little background on me. If you ever need to get a hold of me after today, I do answer emails. Just go right here, okay? Don Kaufman, support at TheoTrade.com. All right, so I just wanted to throw that out there. By the way, I do some TV appearances. This is TD Ameritrade Network. I still am on there every week, so I still do TD Ameritrade TV. I'll do some CNBC from time to time. Obviously, it's the most memorable because they pitted me against, the shark himself. By the way, he was long, I was short. Worked out for me that time around. All right, one other aspect I think it's important is today. Okay, listen, I am going to discuss in very detailed, extent what we term ultimate trades, and this is selling premium. Okay, I'm also going to tell you right now, we are not selling any classes today. We are not selling anything of any kind. Okay, the only way you can now, right here today, get into TheoTrade. Okay, we are TheoTrade is to open a Tastyworks account. If you're unfamiliar with Tastyworks, it's the up and coming, okay, brokerage firm out there. The Tastyworks platform is second generation thinkorswim. So as I mentioned a moment ago, my background was from thinkorswim. thinkorswim was eventually acquired by TD Ameritrade. The original founders of thinkorswim, they exited the firm, okay, and started a brokerage firm called Tastyworks. Well, here we are, some 22 years later, and now I'm actually helping out Tastyworks and opening up accounts for Tastyworks. Open a Tastyworks account now. You receive 90 days of TheoTrade membership totally on the house. And you're also going to score yourself a ticket to Brandon Chapman, who's one of our instructors. He's got a 6-week beginner's guide to ultimate trades. Okay, it's a full-blown mastermind. It's for 6 weeks. It's to get you ramped up in the genre of trade that we're talking about today. So, by the way, somebody said, oh, I'm already with Tastyworks. We have a few other brokerage firms that we do work with, but right now it's unequivocally, it's like Tastyworks, the place to be, and I stress that because I'm, it's taken me a while, obviously, to adapt to another brokerage firm. I mean, I spent 20 years obviously trading on thinkorswim. I helped build some of thinkorswim. So there's always this, adaptation period, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's time to adapt. It is time to adapt because Tasty is what's building technology, and thinkorswim, it's owned by Charles Schwab. It's much slower development over there. Anyway, you get 90 days of TheoTrade, which normally costs $300. You get $1,000 ticket to Brandon Chapman's mentorship, which is a very complete, this is not, it's 6 weeks, but it's probably close to about 10 to 12 hours of education. Okay, it's a phenomenal event. And then, of course, Tastyworks will actually even give you, they'll hand you a cash bonus in opening up accounts. And those are listed down below. So you go to TheoTrade.com/Tastyworks to open that account. And again, you can do that kind of at your leisure. I'll discuss it again. I'll also discuss later on today here in about 80 minutes from now, a little bit about, what TheoTrade actually encompasses. All right, onward and upward. So one of the first things I want to mention here, volatility's arrived, right? It's not going to abate anytime soon. Inflation's running red hot. Feds are pushing rates, contracting their balance sheet, strong dollar, okay, is exporting inflation, geopolitical risks. We're a mess. We're an absolute mess right now. And at the same time, I say game on. Listen, the markets, for the first time in a very long time, got real, right? Stock picking and Reddit boards aren't going to cut it. I can't stress that enough. And I'm not trying to poke fun at the Reddit boards, but seriously, you need to poke fun at the Reddit boards. So you're going to need a strategy, all right? You're going to need a strategy that has to embrace volatility. If you don't have that, you're already dead, all right? The next thing you need to have, and I'm deadly serious about this too. So one thing you guys have to realize about me, as I said, I'm no holds barred, okay? I'm here. Hey, you want to open up a Tastyworks account? Fantastic. Open a Tastyworks account, right? I'm not here to charge you anything in any way, shape, or form, but you open up a Tastyworks account, you get into TheoTrade. The most important thing to me, okay, is to provide any degree of success to your investing and or trading livelihood, period. That's it. And I'm going to tell you, and this doesn't just come from me, this comes from experience. I've watched billions and billions, okay, of dollars of order flow. Order flow is just all of your trades. As I said, I know what works and what doesn't. And I'm going to just tell you right now, you either embrace chaos and volatility or you're going to die trying, right? It's just not going to work for you. So you need to seriously consider, all right, if you're relying on directional bias, I got my MACD, my Fibonacci, my Bollinger Band, you're already dead. It'll kill you right now. I'm not saying don't trade anything directional, right? But in a marketplace like this, what? Okay. Look at the chaos that we're in today. Oh, don't worry. The S&Ps were just up 52, but they're falling back right now. And, there's a few hours left on the clock. So, hey, we may get crushed and we might rally huge. But you got to realize this is what you're going to be involved in. So you also got to reduce risk while substantiating monthly returns. That's it. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about ultimate trades. So our higher volatility has resulted in significantly more options premium. We're going to talk about options. Okay. And we're going to talk about selling options premium. Why? Well, because it is what works in the midst of heavier volatility. And heavier volatility, options premiums are big and juicy. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here. So learning to sell options. Now, some of you, okay, have probably heard through the grapevine that selling options is a great way to make money. How many people have heard that? Okay. And before I even get there, I think it's probably fair to say some of you tuning in are, there's like a stigma, if you will, around options. And I think it's important to address that stigma. Some people are just bent on like, I'm not going to trade options. I don't want to trade options. I don't want to get involved. Listen, the options growth kind of speaks for itself. In a marketplace that you're presently in, right, with volatility like this, what else are you going to do? And I'm serious about that. What are you going to try to time the perfect stock buy? Ooh, I'm going to buy that Verizon after it sold off 30%. Like really, like it's pretty chaotic out there. You got to forget a lot of the traditional education out there. And what's some of the traditional education? One of the most traditional things you've ever learned in the business is what? In a time of volatility, you can buy bonds. How's that working for you? I mean, I'm not trying to poke fun at some of this stuff, but it's ridiculous because, what people typically learn in markets, bear with me here. We'll go to the daily chart and we'll just pull up. Oh, let's get crazy. Let's pull up 4 years in here. It's one of the most wild sell-offs anybody's ever seen in the marketplace. I'm pulling up bonds. In fact, tell you what, I'll pull up that's the TLT. That's the TLT. And we'll even pull up like a weekly chart inside of the TLT. It's one of the, is basically the largest crash ever seen inside of the bond market in any recent history. And, there's always been that thing, the older you get, you rotate some of your capital out of the markets and into bond markets. Like traditional finance is completely broken in this marketplace. And that's why I tell people, like, you're going to have to learn a little bit to not only survive, but to thrive in this market. Okay. And like the options, even if there's, there's a stigma around that, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to learn to sell options. You're going to learn to sell options today. And in learning to sell options, you hear this around the grapevine, but if you've tried it, you're going to know that there's risk. How many people here have actually tried to sell options, right? Just by the way, yes, no, you can chat in. It's okay. It's okay. Y for yes, N for no, right? How many people here have really tried to sell options? Okay. Because you learn real quick. You're like, I sold them. I made money. Bam. Did you see the truck that actually hit me? Okay. It's a lot of people here have tried to sell options. What we're going to provide is one of the most effective means to do so. And it's an entire genre of trade called Ultima. And for those of you that have never heard the terminology Ultima, it doesn't mean ultimate, okay? And it's the term, okay, Ultima, it has to do with the volatility. Like if people ask me exactly what Ultima is, there's Vega, there's Vama, there's Ultima. Vega, Vama, Ultima. Ultima right now is actually why and how you can make money in this business. And it has to do with selling options premium. And I don't mind. So even those of you, what I want to get to is even those of you that know nothing about options, don't freak out, don't panic. Again, we're going to separate the myths from the real risk, the fact from the fiction. We're going to talk a little bit about selling options premium. And when I say don't panic, I mean, listen, for those of you that are brand new, have never traded an option, okay? For those of you that have never traded an option in here, okay? We're going to talk, for starters, probability and risk. I want you to grab big, broad strokes over here. Big, broad strokes. What does that? What exactly does that mean to you? Right? Just grab concepts and so forth. For those of you that are a little bit experienced, and some of you do have experience. Okay, if you do have experience, grab the little nuances, what I call criteria. So the other thing is I'd like to say is, you can do this in a small account, and it's actually one of the reasons, and I'll explain exactly why we use Tastyworks in a moment. One of the reasons we use Tastyworks is because Tastyworks unequivocally, okay, hands down by a humongous margin, is by far the best brokerage firm for smaller accounts. Okay, if you're a $2,000 account, You can actually sell options premium at Tastyworks, okay, and not have to worry about margin. You're not going to have to worry about day trading margin rules. Not that we're going to day trade, but I want to express that to you. So let's dive right in. There's a lot of different facets of selling premium. People, the terminology throws them in options. Selling premium, credit spreads. You guys will hear like bull call spread, bear call spread, bull put spread, bear put spread. Oh man, it's so confusing. Listen, all I'm doing right now is talking about selling stuff. People try to make this business so much harder than it needs to be. Okay. Like, how bad is the options business? The last time I looked, there are calls and there are puts. That is it. That is it. Okay. You have calls and you have puts. And the cool thing is about calls and puts, well, you can buy them or you can sell them, right? Buyers, that's palms towards me. Sellers, that's palms towards you. So that's it. That's the whole business. You go, well, what about triple naked backflip trade? Like, you got to stop with the ridiculous names over here. There's short call spread, short put spread, delta neutral trading, iron condors, mambo combos, conversions, boxes, jelly rolls. Oh my, selling naked. Sounds exciting until you get caught. Anyway, it's all about selling premium. And again, today we're going to talk a little bit about selling premium, but I wanted to make you aware that, selling premium, you can be bullish, you can be bearish. But the positions that we're going to talk about today, expressly today, are generally considered market neutral. What does that mean? It means I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, I think we're going up or I think we're going down. It's neither here nor there. By the way, how our members are doing year to date. I took a little poll in one of our chat rooms here, just off the cuff towards the end of September. All right. Started my IRA following TheoTheo small. By the way, Theo small is Ultima, up 28%. Thanks to Theo, my 401k, my entire 401k is in cash 18 months ago. Up for the year in accounts I'm trading, up 27% year to date. So again, I just wanted to display this because very few people are positive on a year-to-date basis, especially in a year that the markets, S&Ps are down, 21% right now on a year-to-date basis. All right, let's get down to business. So probability and profitability. One of the things I expressed to traders is trading is based on probability. And at the same time as the trading is based on probability, I don't want you to get misled by probability, meaning that when people come to the, to TheoTrade all the time and they actually start with the wrong question, they actually say to me, how often are you right? And it makes me absolutely nuts. You go, what do you mean how often I'm right? I can be right 95% of the time. Anybody can be right 95% of the time. But what you have to understand when I say that you're asking the wrong question is, being right does not, and probability alone does not establish that you're profitable. So I don't care if somebody's right 95% of the time. The question then is, what happens when you're wrong the other 5% of the time? Does that make sense to everybody? Because I know it's an interesting place to start. I got to kind of back you into this because everybody's infatuated with, well, what's going to make me right? What's going to make me right? Everything in this industry. If you watch like CNBC, oh, what do you think the stock is going to do? What do you think the stock is going to do? You realize that today's trading, what I'm going to talk to you about today, has nothing to do with that. Because I'm going to be the first to tell you, this is not a market for that kind of discussion. This is not a market for that kind of discussion. Because it's one of the things that you think that, and as I said, you're already dead. Okay, you have to understand that again. When you're looking at this, markets are always a trade-off, right? Higher probability can actually be higher risk. You could be right 90% of the time, you can still lose money. So what we have to find is not about just probability, okay? It's about where to be able to find an edge. And when I say where to find an edge, if you did a certain strategy and you did it, hundreds, okay? Or even thousands of times, okay? Just consecutive occurrences, hitting it again and again and again and again. Is it going to make money for you? Because that's what people are here for. Like, I don't want to hear like, I looked at a Fibonacci and it made me money a couple of times, because this marketplace is just going to be unrelenting. And I'm pointing to the market right now because it is just that. So I'm going to show you something very important. I'm actually going to take you through some of the basics of selling premium. So here's a marketplace. And I say I'm going to take you through the basics. Okay. For those of you that are experienced, again, if you're experienced, Pay attention to the little nuances. If you're inexperienced, well, grab the bigger concepts. Ready? So here's a marketplace. Here's a stock trading at $100. Do I own the stock? No. Okay, I just want you to know, no stock. Okay, no stock. Why no stock? Own stock right now. Today's kind of a mellow day. You know, we're up a little bit. You do a little dance, you make a little love, you get down tonight. Tomorrow, for all you know, we could be down huge. I mean, come on, we're, you know, a couple of days off the absolute lows of the market, which has been 3,500 inside of the S&Ps on the button. Here we are trading what, you know, 3850-ish. Okay, great. It's a 350 point move directly to the upside. You don't know if it's going to continue, go down. There's no reason to hold stock right now. That's just the bottom line. There's no reason to hold stock. You go, well, it makes me profitable. We can make you profitable in a lot of ways. The first example I'm going to give you here is going to be trading a call. Now, some people don't even know what a call option is, right? So we're going to go out there and we're going to talk about initially buying a 120 call. Now, if you have a stock trading at 100 and you're buying a 120 call, and we'll buy it and we'll pay $1 for it. If I were to buy a 120 call, I mean, that call, yeah, that's way out there. I mean, this stock is trading at $100. Why would I be buying the 120 call? Because on a wing and a prayer, I must think that that stock is going to go soaring higher. But I have to pay $1 for it, okay? And if nothing happens, what's going to happen to the 120 call? Well, the 120 call gives me the right to do what? Gives me the right to buy the stock at 120. Do I really want to buy the stock at 120? No. I just hope the stock soars, because if the stock goes, for instance, to 130, I have the right to buy the stock at 120. Everybody else in the world has to pay 130. If you have the right to buy the stock at 120 and the stock's now trading at 130, what's the 120 call worth minimum? I'm not asking what you're making. I'm asking you, what's a 120 call going to be worth minimum with the stock trading at 130? Anybody know? If you have the right to buy the stock at 120, you could buy the stock at 120. If you bought the stock at 120, you could sell it in the open market 2 seconds later for 130. How much would you actually make on there? You would make $10, of which you paid the dollar up front. All I want you to understand, though, okay, is why would anybody in their right mind buy a 120 call? I'll tell you exactly what they would buy a 120 call. They must think the stock is going to soar. Okay, it could be a takeover bid, it could be earnings announcements, it could be 50 different reasons that you buy a 120 call. But buying the 120 call does not in any way, shape, or form mean that you have to do what? Own stock. You do not have to own the stock. Okay, and right, if you go out and buy that 120 call, maybe the stock doesn't go up. What do you do if the stock doesn't go up? Anybody? Right? If the stock stays flat, what happens? You lose your dollar. If the stock goes down, what happens? You lose a dollar. Even if the stock goes up to like 110, what happens? You lose your dollar. There's a lot of ways to lose a dollar. Okay. That was an incredibly low probability trade. We okay? Everybody okay? Because we're going to continue to forge forward, because a lot of you guys have actually gone out there. A lot of you guys gone out there and traded before. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to talk about selling a 120 call. We sell a 120 call. Now we're actually going to collect a $1 credit. So I'm going to put that down here. We're going to sell a 120 call. And for that 120 call, we're going to collect $1.20. Oh, sorry, $1. I'm going to fix that. We're going to collect exactly $1 credit. And this option is going to be good for 3 months. Okay. So time out. You sell a 120 call for $1 credit. Now what do? Absolutely nothing. Some of you that are newer, they don't get how you can do this. You go, how can you sell something that you never ever owned? I'm selling it to open. I'm selling myself into an obligation. Options are not that hard. As I said a moment ago, there's like all these different option strategies, and people just get infatuated with like, I got to learn the butterfly, and I got to learn this kind of fly, and I got to learn this, and it's an iron condors. Listen, it's a call or it's a put. You could buy it or you can sell it. In this case, I'm just selling a call. Okay. And in this example kind of drives people crazy, because you're like, but you're selling a call naked. I am selling a call naked, just for the example, because I just want you to understand conceptually what we're doing here. So I'm selling this 120 call. And at this point, if I sell a 120 call, I'm what? I'm obligated to give somebody stock at 120. Do I own any stock? No. Do I want to own the stock? No. Why do I not want to own the stock? Because it's got a hell of a lot of risk. But what can happen to me here? You tell me what can happen to me here. Well, first of all, I collect $1, but I don't keep that dollar until what, 3 months from now. Now you're sitting here and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to this guy for 90 minutes to learn how to make $1 every 3 months. That's ridiculous. No, that's not what we're here for. But we have to understand this conceptually before we can actually forge forward. And I intentionally put this 3 months out here because I know those of you that are experienced, you hate that. You absolutely hate it. It just drives you up a wall. Okay. So I'm 3 months out and I collect a dollar. I'll tell you what can happen. Stock can stay flat, you keep your dollar. Stock can go down, you make your dollar. Stock could even go up, you make your dollar. Stock could even go to 120, you still make your dollar. Stock goes above 120, you wet yourself, right? Because what happens if the stock jumped from 100 and boom, went to 130? I mean, that'd be crazy. That's a 30% move higher. 30% move higher. Listen, I've seen crazier things happen, but a 30% move higher would, well, you would lose $10, but you collect $1 up front, you'd lose $9. What I want you guys to understand, okay, is this. I'm just asking the question, I'm not asking specifics. Is this what you would construe as a high probability trade? Right? You tell me, yes or no. Y for yes, N for no. Is this a high probability trade? Anybody? See how, if you guys are paying attention here. Anybody? Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to be profitable. All I want to know if it's a high probability trade. Okay. High probability would constitute anything north of, for instance, 90%. This trade unequivocally is high probability. It's incredibly high probability. Okay. Incredibly high probability. In fact, we're going to take you into a marketplace here momentarily and show you just that. Okay. So by the way, high probability, just because the trade has a 90% probability. Once again, what did I tell you to begin with? It doesn't make you what? It's not going to make you profitable. I'm not asking if it's a good trade. I'm asking if it's a high probability trade. Okay. Very, very important though here. All right. Blank the screen again. So before we go into the to a live trade, all right, you may have noticed that in the example, okay, sold options a few months out in duration. Typically traders sell shorter dated options, but that's exactly why you guys are tuning into this webcast. And that point alone, okay, I cannot emphasize enough how critical this point is. See, when everybody learns about options, when people learn about options, they see a decay graph. And what does the decay graph look like? Looks like this, right? This option has, for instance, 3 months, it's 2 months, okay? And right here is 1 month. And when the option has 1 month left, bam, it just decays as fast as can be. Everybody familiar with that? Okay. That could not be further from the truth. So one of the first things you've been learning about options is decay. There's an acceleration of decay the closer you come to expiration. The truth is, well, that part is true. The part that's the fallacy is the options that people are showing you with the decay graph. And again, the decay graph that everyone's familiar with looks exactly like this. That decay graph, okay, is always what we term near money options. Okay. Now I'm actually going to start to blow your mind. We're going to go into a live market. And we're going to create the exact same example I just did. We're going to actually take it over to Tastyworks. Tasty! Okay. And we're going to use a product called Spiders. Everybody familiar with Spiders? Okay. So we're going to come right in here. We're going to go Spiders. And I'm going to go a full 115 days out. Why? Because I want to torture you. Now, I know some people have never seen an option chain before. So hang with me in this example, right? So we're going to go to the Spiders, okay? And I'm going to scroll way out, okay? We're going to scroll way out over here. Oh, let's find an option that's trading. This works. I just want something, anything that's trading right around $1, right? See that option is trading right around $1. And it's not, listen, this example is not perfect. It's going to be a little dirty, but that's okay. We're going to go out there and suffice to say, and I'm actually going to draw it up here. We're going to go out and we're going to say we're going to sell, okay, the Feb. We'll make this Feb. We're going to sell the 470 call. And for that, we're going to collect what? 470s, $1.05. We're going to collect $1.05. That okay with everybody? Okay. And again, you know what? Let me actually write it up here a little bit cleaner. We're going to go out there and we're going to sell the February 17, okay, 470 calls. And for that, we're going to collect basically $1.05. Now, time out. You're a full 115 days out. By the way, you can see the 115. It's right up here. My little mouse is on it over there. So you can see that 115. And we're selling these. When I say these, I'm just going to highlight real quick. The market right now is 104, 105. No question I can hit them for 105 right now. I just worked the order at 105, little bid back to the marketplace. Okay, now, what are those going to be worth a month from now? You tell me. What are they going to be worth a month from now? There's kind of a cool way to figure that out. Close up the option chain for a second. I'll show you. Okay, if you look at a 115-day option, what is a 115-day option going to be worth exactly a month from now? The best way to figure that out is to look and say, well, if you have 115 days, you want to know what's worth a month from now, all factors being held equal, meaning like the market doesn't move up, the market doesn't move down. I know the market's going to move, but how much decay can come out of here? Go look at the 87-day option. Why should I look at the 87-day option? What's the difference between 115 days and 87 days? What is it? Anybody? Okay, we're getting into higher mathematics over here. 115 minus 87 is 28. So 28 days from now, if I wanted to see what this option, these Feb 17, 470 calls, I'm just making the point. I could right now, I could sell those 470 calls. And if I did sell those 470 calls and I just waited 28 days, assuming all factors being held equal, I know again, the market can move higher or lower, neither here nor there. All factors being equal, look at the 470 calls. Okay, look at the 470 calls. Obviously, I've got a position in these, but look at the 470 calls precisely. Okay, 1 month from now, what are they trading for? Under 50 cents. So a month from now, I could go and I could buy those Feb 17s. Okay, I could buy back those 470 calls and I could buy them back for less than 50 cents. So this was a credit, this is a debit. What do I actually make on the trade? Okay, 55 cents. And by the way, I'm being very conservative because clearly you could buy these back for 49 cents. So I would make basically what? 55 cents. I'm going to make over 50%, okay, in 28 days for doing what? Selling an option further out in time. Question is, how come more people aren't doing this? Because when I show this to people, they don't understand, like, how is that even possible? He's saying that an option's decaying rapidly, and that option that's decaying rapidly, okay, is 115 days out in time. Okay, look at it yourself. It's right there in front of you, and most people miss it. That's actually what Ultima is. Ultima, and the logic of Ultima is all we're doing is selling option premium. Okay, people that are inexperienced, people that don't have their homework done, are actually selling short duration. They'll sell options like 20 days left. They'll sell options with 10 days left. And their thought process is, I only have to sweat for what? For 10 or 15 or 20 days. Okay, couldn't be further from the truth, because if I open up an option 15 days, I'm opening up an option with just 15 days remaining to expiration, and I want to collect basically what? Okay, 50 cents or something. Okay, look how close I have to come to the underlying. It's brutal. I got to sell like some 416s. That market is almost assuredly going to come and get me. And I can't stress this enough, because people don't get it, right? There's a hell of a lot of premium that you can sell further out in time. And the reason we want to be further out in time, the decay rate 115 days out is still massive. But what you think of decay is what we call theta decay. Theta decay is actually time, okay? What's decaying further out in time is actually some skew. The skew is in flux. People don't know what skew is, but skew deals, okay, with this little guy right here, implied volatility. The implied volatility shift is, okay, part of Ultima. And what Ultima is basically doing is there's almost like a volatility decay component and people miss it. And you can make over 50% in less than a month. And then what do you do after that? Close the trade, just put on another one. Close the trade, put on another one. By the way, you can actually run hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars of inventory, okay, doing this. And you go, oh, that's kind of cool. By the way, you don't just have to do it in this product. And I just want to show you, okay? I've got all kinds of positions scattered in multiple brokerage accounts that are all, if you will, like here, this is minimal premium selling today. That's up 1,500 bucks. Like, how's that possible? Okay, I'm up $1,500 today. I'm not selling a lot of premium in here. This is a very minimally sized position. I'm up 1,500 bucks or 1,400 bucks with maybe 16,000, 17,000 in margin. This is a position that anybody could be able to sustain. Sustained, okay? And it's important. But, you know, we go through this stuff. You know, here's a position not faring as well today. I mean, here's a position where, you know, since the open, this one's down $500. This other one, you know, is doing great, but neither here nor there. What I'm trying to show you with this, okay, is that you can create a pretty elaborate premium selling opportunity without having to substantiate tremendous risk. Because people, look, I'm not selling options that are right here. Let me just make sure you guys see this. I'm not selling options that are on top of the underlying. I'm selling options that are way out here. I'm in the nosebleed seats. You know, like this is like if you went to a football game, I'm out in the parking lot tailgating. I can't even see the game. You know, that's how far out I am. And I'm doing that because, well, I know better. What do I know better? And by the way, people say, well, you're selling naked? Not necessarily. Okay. We're going to get to that point in just a moment. I don't want anybody to think that there's extraordinary risk in anything that we're doing right now, because there's not. I'm going to mitigate, I'm going to control the risk, okay? But you got to understand conceptually what we're doing first. And again, conceptually speaking, let me change the symbol. Let's go to the QQQ, okay? Let's go to the Qs. If you're not familiar with the Qs, the Nasdaq 100. Let's use the exact same options in the Qs. Let's go 115 days out. Okay, 115 days out. And I'm just, by the way, I'm just hunting right now for an option right around $1. Like people like, don't think too hard over here. I'm just hunting for an option that's trading at $1. And right now, there you go. See that little 365? So if I sell, okay, the Feb 365 call and I collect, well, let's put this one at $1. I'd just sell this for $1.03. If I sell that for $1.03, the question is 28 days from now, what's it going to be worth? Well, just close it up, open up the what? So I just had the February's open up the January's now and come out to the 365s and they're trading for basically 50 cents. Okay. I could turn around and I could buy them back for 50 cents and you're still up right around 50%. By the way, a full 30 days, you should make slightly greater than, okay, 50%. And that's very reasonable. Again, where's the market currently trading? Look, it's right here. Man, if I didn't make that point, the QQQ is sitting at 282, right? It's at 282. I'm selling 365s. I'm 365 and you go, well, there's 115 days and 115 days. I'm not holding it 115 days. I'm holding it like 30 days. 30 days. By the way, it's like 30 days max. Are you guys with me? You see what I'm doing? I'm holding the trade for like 30 days. What's the worst that can happen in 30 days? Oh, hurt me, scare me. Okay. There could be an explosive rally right now in the marketplace. There already has been an explosive rally, right? Which actually makes it a pretty good time to be able to sell calls. We okay? Let me know. Okay to go? Okay to go. It's pretty quiet out there. So either you guys get this or you're like, I'm totally perplexed. Well, we've gotten to the easy portion of it. Now we're actually getting a little bit deeper. We okay? Yeah. All right. So again, everything that I'm doing today, right? There's no, you know, pitch in here. Listen, as I told you guys, the only thing we're doing right now, we're opening up some Tastyworks accounts. We have a great relationship with several of the brokerage firms. Obviously, we have a great relationship with Tastyworks. And in doing so, and by the way, I know this platform extremely well. It really is. It's like next generation thinkorswim. But in doing this, I want you guys to know the most important thing is your understanding of this. Like, we want people that want to not only open up an account, but successfully trade a given strategy. And before I even go any further, I'll just let you know, you have to understand the logic here. We send the trades. So when you open up a Tastyworks account, you're going to be given access to TheoTrade. And TheoTrade sends out trade alerts. And those trade alerts will fully, incorporate, obviously, what we're doing here. And that is selling premium, okay? It's, again, very, very important over here. All right, onward and upward. By the way, we have several people asking, like, if I already have like a Tasty account. There's a few different firms that we're presently working with, okay? We'll have those alternatives posted in here. Make sure that we're good. We'll post the alternatives into the chat, and so you guys know, we actually work with a number of different broker dealers. There's a lot of education companies that come out of there, a little bit of fly by night. Here at TheoTrade, I think what really differentiates us, we have relationships with everybody from TD Ameritrade, which is obviously Charles Schwab. We have relationships with TheoTrade. We have relationships with Tradier, obviously Tastyworks, Magnify. We could go on for 10 minutes about the brokerage from relationships. There are no other education in the business. There's no one else in this business that has those types of relationships. And when I say relationships, we have marketing partnerships. We open up accounts at different brokerage firms and you get the education. And it's a great relationship because, again, we actually execute trades ourselves. We send out what those trades happen to be. For instance, the trades that are in this particular portfolio, that's a live alert service and you get access to it. And you get access to it the second you open up the Tastyworks account. You get access to the live trade alerts and you can execute those at your own leisure, right? So onward and upward from there. So as we were talking about, selling options a little further out in time, is always a concern. So there's two factors that we're going to cover over here. Number one that always comes up is everybody goes, what about margin? Okay. And the other one that always comes up is what about risk? So we're going to talk about both of those, because if you're newer to this and you see me and you're like, oh man, he's just going out, he's doing something scary. He's selling an option, what? Naked. I am. And in this example, I really am. I'm going out there into the QQQ and I'm just selling 365 calls naked. I don't want you to think that I'm putting an extraordinary amount of risk on the table. The other thing I want you guys to realize is margin. How many people here are concerned about margin? If you go out and you do sell option premium, how many people have run into an issue with margin or run into an issue with day trading issues? Anybody? So it's just dead quiet in here, right? If you've run into, nobody ever wants to say, oh, I've run into an issue with margin. Come on, people, admitting it's the first step today. Anyway, if you've run into an issue with margin, yeah, you can circumnavigate that. You can completely circumnavigate that. I don't care if you have an account. So let me just explain this. $2,000 in an account, okay? I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying margin call, right? Not a margin call. When you sell options, all right? I love this, by the way, the margin call, because everybody thinks she's going to talk about a margin call. I'm not. But when you sell options, it ties up margin, right? If you sold an option naked in the QQQ, it would tie up a tremendous amount of margin, okay? You do not need more than about $2,000 in an account. And everything I'm talking about can also be done inside of an IRA. You can actually circumnavigate margin restrictions by trading options on futures contracts. Here is actually an MES, which is a micro, and the smallest accounts can easily access and execute trades, okay, exactly like we're doing. And we can come in here, all right, and we can trade in options on a futures contract. This would tie up, okay, in a regular margin account. In a regular margin account, you're looking at this, the buying power effect is $413 for this, okay? It's $413. And again, if you're not comfortable with those micros, you can actually come into the S&P options on futures contracts, okay? Which the S&P options on futures are effectively the same as the spiders, right? And if they're the same as the spiders, what's the difference? Actually, they're a larger contract than the spiders, not that by that much, but they give you all the variability and flexibility, but they have incredibly, incredibly light margin. In this particular case, right, this is the equivalency of like 5. This is a bigger contract. This is the equivalency of 5 SPY contracts, tying up $7,000. The previous one would only tie up about $400. By the way, this buying power effect, so everybody's aware, that would be inside of my IRA. That's actually a trade that would be done inside of an IRA. But I want to deviate again and make sure that everybody understands, okay? One very simplistic comment I want to make again. If I were to go out and I were to actually, pop this trade in here and say, all right, let's go out. Let me clear the deck over here. Let's go out. Let's go ahead and execute myself into this. This is a 4,600 call, and I could execute it right at about maybe $10. It'll only tie up $413 of buying power. Okay. And we're not going to do just that trade. We're not going to do just that and turn around and say, oh, it's naked over here. Again, by the way, I like somebody said, no buying or selling same day options on Fidelity. Yeah, it's again, it's untradeable if you can't do that. Like, listen, this is your money, and you need to be able to do what you want with your capital. And it's one of the reasons that we talk so much about Tastyworks, because not only can you do what you want with your money, you can do it with as little as, for instance, $2,000. They don't have different levels of clearance for options, right? So one of the reasons that we do this webcast and we say like, hey, listen, Tastyworks doesn't say that your level 2 options cleared. If you open up an account with $2,000, your level everything cleared, okay? And you can trade options on futures contracts. In an IRA, if you have $5,000 in an IRA, you can do whatever you want. How about this? In an IRA at Tastyworks, you could technically go out. You could, I'm not saying it's a good trade, but you could even sell naked calls. And it's one of the reasons that I express such, like you need to learn how to do this. So there's not going to be that issue with margin. All right. And 90% trade sounds great, but when you're wrong, you can get absolutely hammered. What we have to learn, okay, about trading like this is that what people typically do when they're trading and selling premium, and for those of you that have some experience, what's happened to you? You've gone out and you made money, train wreck. You go, oh, okay. People do this all the time with a trade called the iron condor. Anybody ever done that with iron condors? Iron condors is you sell a call, sell a put, buy a call, buy a put. Okay, looks like one of these, right? See if I can actually fit that in the camera. Anyway, the iron condor is probably one of the most evil trades out there, where it allows you to make money. By the way, if you've done iron condors, it only allows you to make money 5 or 6 times max. And then the iron condor is just evil enough to be like, come on. I mean, people like literally spend thousands of dollars going to educate themselves on like what an iron condor is. Let me save you some time. It works 5 or 6 times, and then you lose half your account. And you go, that's not very nice, but it's true. And again, I've watched this so many times. The one thing that I always kind of, people go, no, that's never happened to me. Okay. I'm like, well, it has, because again, I like what Scott said, 10 months of profits, then 2 takes, 2 trades, and it's, it's wiped out. Man, I've watched some horrific things over the years. And I always say this, like the buck stops here. Like whatever you've done in trading or thought in trading, I have seen in trading. Like, what do you want me to tell you? I've not only traded since the late 90s. So I'm 24 years into a trading career, but I spent 15 of those years assessing order flow. Like that's what we did. Like as an educator at thinkorswim, as an educator at TD Ameritrade, we didn't go out there and just be like, oh, let's just educate and just teach whatever we want. Everything we did was based on flow. Like we looked at everybody's trades. Like that's the greatest thing about working at a brokerage firm that people never even talk about, is they're like, what's the greatest experience of the brokerage firm? Looking at your order flow, because you get a feel like nobody's ever had before. Like we know everything about people, like to the point where for somebody that was a really active trader, we could tell you that you just got up to go to the bathroom because your mouse wasn't moving as much. That's how good we were. They're like, ah, guy got up to go to the bathroom and he's back. Like, that's how good they could in justifying like order flow. They knew, okay, just to give you an idea of how good the analytics are, they knew what your next click of your mouse was going to be before you knew it. Think about that for a second, okay? And it's crazy to say that, but it's the truth. Like when I say like they knew the next click of your mouse, okay, we knew everything about you. And yeah, I love that. But it's like we could see your account and we could, right? And then people like always like, oh, I can fix this losing trade. I can fix this losing trade. Listen, you have to learn how to do this correctly. Like everything we're talking about, you got to learn how to do it correctly. And learn how to do it correctly means this. I'm actually going to construct for you what options premium selling should look like. Okay. One of the things that I try to express to people about trading, okay, is trading. Trading is not put a trade on, take a trade off, put a trade on, take a trade off. That's not what it's about. Trading, okay, for those of you that really want to do this, okay, you want to generate income, you want to generate monthly income, right? You want, again, growth over time. Like I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody, oh, what's the return? Like, listen, the returns on a $2,000 account are vastly different from a $200,000 account, are vastly different from a $2 million account. It's not fair. Like I can't stand when people are like, blanket statement, you're going to make this much money. Forget about all that crap. Who cares what you make on one trade? Okay, almost all the trades I do, I make 50% on. Does that matter? No, it shouldn't make a difference to you, because the question is, what do I lose when I'm wrong? Trading is not about put a trade on, take a trade off, put a trade on, take a trade off, okay? You have to go out there and you got to think of this business as inventory management. I'm going to go out there, whoops, okay, that was awesome. I'm going to go out there and put little trades on, okay? And I'm going to scatter what I term inventory. I want to make you into the Amazon, if you will, like Amazon, the company, okay? I want to make you into the Amazon of options premium selling. When I say put some inventory on, so a moment ago, we were out there and we were selling some calls. What calls we were selling? We were selling like what? The 470 calls. You might turn around and sell the 475 calls. Maybe you sell the 480 calls. So you're selling, you're selling, you're selling. At the same time, you could actually be selling puts. Okay. You could sell way out of the money puts. And let me show you something interesting about puts. Let me actually bring up another trading application here. Okay. So bring up the, go right over to the spiders. Take a look at the puts. So we're going to go all the way out to the February expiration, and I'll use a way out of the money put. Just to make a quick point though, the puts are trading for twice as much as the calls. Okay, look at this. Puts are trading for like $2. So if I sold like the 285 puts, so think about this. Now I'm out here, okay, and I'm selling some puts as well. Sell, for instance, the 285 puts, collect $2. Okay, you might want to sell, for instance, the 270 puts. Maybe only collect like $1.50. The point that I'm trying to make is you've scattered inventory on both sides. So what's the problem with this? Sold a couple here, collected $1, collected $1, collected $1. Over here, I've collected a few bucks. Okay, that is the inventory. That's the inventory. Then what do I do? What do I do after I build inventory? I'm going to tell you, the market though is right here. Okay, when I say the market, the SPY is sitting at, let's say 380. What could happen to me in just a blink of an eye? Okay, well, the market can go from 380, it could crash. All of a sudden, it would blow me up down here. Has anybody ever experienced that before? When I say it'll blow you up, like the market can move much faster than you would ever be able to react. By the way, nobody ever believes that until it happens to them, right? So it doesn't even have to be a full-blown crash. It could be like what happened in 2020. We moved down, we moved down, we moved down. There was like 10 and 11% moves in consecutive days. It was hideous. That was going into the COVID crash. Like we just moved down and these options would have blown up. We don't want to go out, okay, and expose you to that kind of risk. The most important thing is this. You want to make 50% and you want to do it again and again and again and again. That's some high margin business. But to have that high margin business, okay, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to learn to reduce risk. And those risk reduction techniques are called hedges. And I say, enter the hedges, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use hedges, right? And the hedges are going to be active hedges, meaning that they're always going to be on. And there's typically 3 hedges that I turn to. One, okay, is called a risk twist. All right. Let me fix this. A risk twist spread. Okay. The next one is called a VIX vol spread. And the last one is a gamma iron, right? These are your hedges. And what I want to explain about a hedge, okay, actually sits way out here, and it's this tiny little trade. And if you think about the VIX, let's talk about VIX for a second. If the market goes down, the VIX typically goes where? Where does the VIX go? Anybody? If the market tanks fast, where's the VIX go? Boom, exploding higher, goes up. So imagine that you place this tiny little trade here in VIX, okay? And it's going to cost you something. There's no question that it is going to have a cost associated with it. Your hedges, though, are the cost of you doing business. It's like if you wanted to go even to be an Amazon seller, if you were in the business of Amazon, you'd probably have to have insurance on your business. Well, you have to go out and you have to use some type of a hedge. Because lo and behold, okay, that SPY might be trading at 380. But what happens if the market crashes? You want the VIX hedge to explode in value, okay, or you're dead. And you have to actually have risk reduction, okay, in place. So right here, that little guy right there is going to be known as our VIX vol spread. And the VIX vol spread is our hedge of choice. That's the first one I'm going to do. Now, that VIX vol spread allows me to operate. Here's the SPY, and it's trading, let's call it at 380. Now I can go out, okay, and sell a little more premium. So I can sell, for instance, the 270 put. I can sell, for example, the 280 put. I can sell, for example, the 290 put. Each one of these I can collect, okay, like $2 on. I'm assuming I'm staggering them at different times. Subsequently, I can come out here and sell a little inventory up to the upside, right? I can sell, for instance, the 470 call, collect $1. Could sell, for example, the 480 call, collect $1. Could even sell the 490 call and collect $1. Okay, you think about upside. The upside, I can actually use what's termed a gamma iron. A gamma iron is actually a strategy designed expressly, okay, to hedge. For us to actually explode to the upside, we'd have to pass through the gamma iron, okay, which is your hedge. Hedges are a negligible expense. I want you to think of a hedge as, if you will, it's a sacrificial lamb, right? You know, if you lived on an island with a volcano, once a week you have to walk up there and go, volcano, here's a lamb. You don't want to anger the beast. This is exactly how I think. By the way, I live on an island. So this is exactly how I think, though, in the markets to some degree. Like I use just these little hedges, but little hedges, okay, make a really big deal in the midst of extreme volatility. If the market were to crash and burn right now, this VIX hedge could explode. And when it explodes in value, what it does is it provides an umbrella, right? And the umbrella shields me at least enough time to exit these positions, or I can actually hold the positions because I've got the hedge on. I love what somebody's asking, how many contracts of the hedges versus this? That's exactly the right question. That's what we teach, right? That's why when you open up the account and so forth, you'll go through a 5-hour class. We do all of this. Like it teaches all of it. We even have another way to do this where you don't even have to use the VIX. You can do it all inside of the MES, or you can do it all inside of the spiders, depending upon what product. But when I get into options premium and options premium selling, this is what it looks like. And you know what? Okay, before I delete all that out, like, what do you think when I go to my screen and you see this stuff and you're like, look at my spider position. I know there's writing on here. Look at my spider position, right? 5 of these, 2 hedges, ZB position, ES position. Okay, look, the ES position, this one's up 50%. It's made $612. It's ready to go. It's ready to be taken off. Okay, that's what this business is about. You know, it's not about what you think. It's about going out there, building some inventory, or, you know, here on Tastyworks, some more inventory. Okay, when I say inventory, inventory is just little nuances. It's small positions, right? It's what, okay, it's what you want to be able to create in depth. This is what it actually amounts to. This is just logically what your position should look like. The hedges, they're easy. What you have to learn right now, though, is structurally how to put the position together. Okay, it's not going to be a huge amount of work. And what we do here at TheoTrade is provide you, right, all the nuances of not only how to do it, but then we actually give you trade alerts literally of how to do it. So this is why you want to sell premium. You can do this in accounts with under $5,000. You can do it in an IRA, produces positive decay. You can actually use this to enhance existing positions. It's a really high probability of success. You never have to buy or sell the stock. You can be wrong in market direction and still produce profitable trades. And I really I put this down here for a reason. Like, you seriously, you need this in your life. Like, we don't know what the next year, 2 years, the next 5 years looks like in this marketplace. I can tell you one thing, okay? Inflation's not going away. The Fed's not going away. Volatility is not going away. This is not going to be an easy, stock pickers marketplace, maybe for years, right? You need to learn something like this. Selling premium can potentially bring in consistent returns while minimizing your risk. And we're going to discuss criteria in a minute. But before that, I'm actually going to show you live trading examples. When I say live trading examples, variations of all of the following trades can be done with as little as $2,000 in a funded brokerage account. Okay. Now, obviously, today we're talking specifically about Tastyworks. Now, at Tastyworks, okay, again, you can even do it inside of retirement accounts. So what I'm going to show you is these are live premium selling trade alerts. Okay, I'm going to show you 18 months of my results in selling premium. And by the way, I don't mind saying this. Okay, these results started in January of 2021. And if you look at this, okay, this happens to be cut from thinkorswim. Okay, but now obviously we're also selling premium in Tastyworks. I mean, Tastyworks they do it better. Okay, it's cheaper, it is more effective. But here you can actually see each transaction that I've done, and I want you guys to know exactly what you're looking at. This is the date and time of the position open, date and time of the position close. To open to close, okay, the exact strike that I traded, the credit, okay, and then the debit, right? So I'm selling to open, buying to close, and that's the return. So I'm just going to scroll through briefly. You can see I'm on slide 33 over here. I have a few, 100, 150 trades that I'm about to go through. So I trade bonds, okay? All of these 53% return, IWM, okay? IWM, Tesla, spiders. A lot of the trades are, of course, going to be in the spiders. All I'm doing right now, okay, is just thumbing through the trades. And when I say thumbing through the trades, okay, as I told you, everything that we do here is no holds barred. Like, this is my year to date, okay, profit inside of one. That's just one of a thinkorswim account. I have another account over here. I'll go to my IRA. Okay. By the way, the IRA, as you know, like, it's up $45,000, but I want to just display this to you because it's important. It's up $45,000. This is a small chunk of an IRA. It's just like a little leftover IRA left over here. Okay. It started the year, obviously about, well, you can see it's up $45,000. It's currently $78,000, $79,000. So you can see it's up over 100% in that IRA. I have another IRA right over here at, of course, Tastyworks. So again, it's no holds barred. Like, we show everything in terms of P&L. This is QQQ, IWM. Most of these are 50% returns. There's a 19% loss. It happens. Okay. All right, I'm just scrolling through. The more experienced you get, then you can actually step up into larger products. When I say larger products, eventually you'll start seeing me trade the ES in here. The ES is exactly what? All right, and we're getting into it right about now, somewhere in this neighborhood. Once we get people ramped up, we'll stop trading spiders. Okay, start trading ES short puts. The ES is exactly 5 times the size of the spiders. So now I'm trading ES in here. And once we get you a little bit more ramped up, then we'll teach you trades like Christmas tree spreads. Okay, we're actually going to pull up some Christmas tree spreads here in a moment. Here's actually a Christmas tree spread, which is a type of a ratio. Okay, it's the ratio of selling, premium. Just to display the trade, this is put on for basically a $21 credit, closed for a $3 debit. keep going along over here. Okay, you'll see a couple Christmas tree spreads kind of intermixed in here. Here's one open for a $22 credit, closed for a minimal debit. It's a 92% return. Okay, more ES short puts, bond short puts. Okay, another Christmas tree spread. Every one unit I put on was almost $4,000 of profitability. It's kind of cruising through. But I want you guys to see again and get a feel for what trading like this looks like. Another Christmas tree spread. We're all the way into 2022 at this point. Okay. All right, so I've taken you through, again, that's about 18 months of trade results. And by the way, I don't mind saying, like, what happened to you after 18 months? Nothing. I just basically, I said after 18 months, I'm like, that's enough. Okay, so you can look at the portfolio anytime you want. It's the Ultima TheoTheo portfolio. And I can actually click right here on TheoTrade and bring up, again, a number of different portfolios. When I say the portfolios, all the portfolio does shows you all the open trades, okay, and all the closed trades. So you can actually follow portfolios. These also are sent out. You can actually copy, highlight the trades. These are also sent out via text message and push notification. You can't receive text messages. We have push notification because we have our own app. The way the app works for, obviously, for Google, okay, Android and or iOS, it's fine with us. But this is the Ultima TheoTheo portfolio. We also have a TheoTheo small portfolio. In the small portfolio, what do? We just trade a smaller product. The small portfolio is designed expressly for accounts that are like $2,000 or $5,000, okay? To open, to close, to close. And you can see every open and closed transaction in here. And, people go, well, what happened to you afterwards? Nothing, we're still trading, okay? But again, I put together 18 months of results to display to you. And again, if you don't have a lot of time, again, it's not a huge issue. The trade results are perfect for part-timers. We're blasting the text messages out to you. You don't have to sit there all day long going, are they coming? Are they coming? Assume this. When markets move huge is usually when we're trading. So even a fraction of time is enough to see great results. What our members are saying, up 80,000 since January 1st, 2022. I just figured I'd show that because, again, this is as recent. It's as recent as an email can possibly get, today in here. But I just figured I'd throw that in there. Characteristics of selling Ultima Premium. So the attributes of this are undeniable. So you never have to buy or sell the stock. Risk can get dialed in, and you can dial risk in to precisely your comfort level based on how much hedge you want. And it's important, okay? So you never need to use a stop order. We don't do that. You can vary time frames to minimize risks. The probability of profitability is extraordinarily high. It's a perfect strategy to enhance one's stock portfolio, right? You can do this and learn to sell premium against your portfolio, but it's just a tool designed for those of you that want to build an account in the midst of, chaos right now. And of course, new products, which are those micros and so forth. I want you guys to understand you can sell options in literally any account size, right? So portfolio of options. So don't let the options portion of this intimidate you. I make no qualms about this. If you know nothing about options, we get you ramped up into that. And I want to express this because a lot of people are not aware. When I say we get ramped up, there's a start here menu on TheoTrade. There's a start here menu. You guys get access to this immediately, right? So you open up the account, options 101, options 201. So options, we're going to teach you to use them correctly, and we're going to get you ramped up from the get-go. Now, some of you already have experience trading options. Fantastic. If you have experience trading options, watch the Ultima video and then literally follow some of the alerts in there. That's as easy as that. You can sell Ultima Premium, minimize risk. Again, don't let the options portion of it intimidate you, because you need these strategies for the foreseeable market future. I wish I could sit here and tell you, hey, 2021, you can go out there and buy any stock and you're going to make money, or 2020, okay, from the bottom of the COVID crash, anybody throw money at the marketplace, you're going to make money in it. Okay, it's over, it's done with. And the only question now is the volatility going to last the next 2 or 3 years, or is it going to be a decade? And I don't have the answer to that. Like, again, we can show you how and when to sell premium in a matter of hours. What we do here at TheoTrade, we don't just sit here and say like, hey, here's a trade alert. Hey, here's this. We have highly detailed recipes, okay, for Ultima premium selling. Okay. And the way I explain it is you wouldn't bake a cake. If like you've never baked a cake before, you wouldn't bake a cake without a recipe. Why do you trade without one? So I'm going to talk expressly about what you need to successfully sell Ultima premium for a living. You got to know the best underlying stocks or indices for Ultima trading candidates. So what are some of the best stocks? Come on, you saw me trade spiders. I traded the ES, right? I threw a few stocks in there. I like bonds. I trade the QQQ. I trade the IWM. It's pretty easy. One thing you even saw Tesla once or twice. I wouldn't suggest that right now. Probably not a good idea. The volatility is through the roof. What volatility should seek out? Listen, too much volatility and you're dead. Too little volatility and you're dead. You didn't see me sell any premium in something like Walmart. Okay, it's just not going to work. So the volatility is just incredibly important. What options expiration do I select? Have you looked, okay, at an option chain? Like look at some of these chains. In fact, I love to pull this up. Look at the SPX, the mother of all products. There's 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 6 day. Look at how many expirations there are in here. How about this? We here at TheoTrade are going to dial you in to exactly what expiration. That's what criteria does. We'll give you the delta of the option you should sell. We'll give you which options you buy. Somebody already asked the question, okay? What question did they ask? They said, how many hedges do I buy for how many options do I sell? Actually, we have a really easy way to do that, all right? That's it's much easier than you think. We have a ratio that we use, okay? Depending upon how much risk you want, right? We'll actually teach you the ratio. We can then teach you how do you actually build the position. When we say build a position, I threw that like nice, graph up there and I'm like, oh, it looks like this. How much of this do you sell? How much of this do you sell for how much hedges here and how much hedges here, okay? You kind of got to know that. And then you start to layer in other positions and it looks complicated, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. Just open a trade, close a trade. After you close the trade, open a new trade. After you close, open a new trade, 50%, 50%, 50%. It's about consistency, right? Do I need a large amount of capital in the account to do this? Absolutely not. Now, I'm not going to tell you, okay, with $2,000, you're going to be able to do a huge amount, but you can do this with $2,000. And that differentiates from any previous years. As I said, it's been 15 years in the brokerage world. Like you could not do this 5 years ago. They only started allowing this. And by the way, they changed a lot of the rules in the brokerage side of the business. You only really can do this now in the last 3 years. Like they changed some of the rules, they added a couple of new products, and it just made it efficient for everybody to be able to sell premium. Okay, what's the right amount of risk for you? We help you dial in the right amount of risk. We'll give you the percentage returns. By the way, it's 50%. 50% of those short options, boom, out. 50% of the short options, boom, out. How do I protect myself from market crashes? Hedges, okay? Sacrificial lambs of trading. Let me show you exactly what we do here at TheoTrade. We create recipes in trading. Trading is always about answering the what ifs. What's a good ETF candidate? What's the correct options expiration cycle? How much capital? What strike options do you sell? What options do you buy? How can I limit my risk? TheoTrade has those answers. We build recipes with definitive criteria, checklists for each strategy and each unique variable you're going to encounter. By the way, when I talk about checklists, I'll be very forthright in saying the idea behind checklists came, okay, from like watching pilots get into the cockpit of, for instance, a 737. So pilot gets into the cockpit of 737. They don't just go, yeah, let's go, throttle up. Okay, they go through really definitive checklists, right? I've looked at them, I've seen them, and I'm like, oh, this actually makes sense. And then once you get into the trade, like you go through, this 7-step series, like the 7 steps are exactly what you need, okay, to be able to execute into the trade. In fact, one of the steps in this, of course, is trade execution. Then once you execute into the trade, then you've actually got to, you've got to fly this thing. What if the market goes up? What if the market goes down? What if you stay flat? Dividends coming, expirations are coming. Oh my, there's a lot of variables. We cover the angles, we cover the variables. That's what the checklists are designed to do. Okay, we have the answer to those questions. We give you the right probability. How many option contracts? When do I close the premium sale? What if we sell off big? Do I bail out of a trade? What if we rally massively? Can I fix a losing position? It's like how, when, why, at what price? I'm telling you, it's just the beginning of the variables you're going to face while selling Ultima options for a living. And you can read what selling Ultima premium is. Listen, you could Google right now selling premium. You might even know how to build a few trades. What you don't have, though, is the recipe. Okay, what we do here at TheoTrade is we build the recipe for success. We had access to client order flow for 15 years. Everything we do and everything we know, okay, comes not just from our own experience. And again, I have 24 years of experience, everything from market making to running portions of a brokerage firm, okay, to obviously TheoTrade here for the last 7 years. But everything we do, right, comes from having viewed and studied millions of trading accounts, right? That's where this criteria is generated from. And that's your recipe for success. Again, we spent years fine-tuning Ultima, years. When you approach the section in the class on, okay, building the trade, you follow the steps to be able to build the trade. Ultima Income Generator course, okay? It is a 5-hour course. It's available immediately, okay? You can stream this, right after you open up a Tastyworks account. And again, we're not charging anything for it, right? We're not charging you for the class. We just simply say, hey, open a Tastyworks account. Why? Because Tastyworks is footing the bill for you to come through TheoTrade. And it's a great relationship with them. The class slide deck that includes entry and exit criteria is available immediately for download. By the way, okay, we have iOS and Android applications. So you can even download directly onto your mobile device and watch offline. So you can download this entire course, watch it, from 30,000 feet in an aircraft when you're not like Wi-Fi connected, that's fine. Again, right now, the Ultima Income Generator course, open a Tastyworks account. In addition to that, and I'm going to explain this in a minute, you get 90 days of access to everything that we do here at TheoTrade. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Here's the curriculum for the class. You're going to learn how to build a high probability portfolio of options. You're going to learn all the detailed entry and exit criteria. You're going to discover option Greeks and learn how to manage, okay, all of your positions through one easy number. You're going to learn to use a risk array in order to be able to visualize profits and losses. One of the most critical portions of the Ultima class is using a risk array. It's essential. Basically, it plots risk, not only now, but plots risk, okay, as you're moving forward through price and time. Meaning if the market, exploded higher, the market exploded lower. If time moved forward, you can see all of it. You're going to learn how to allocate in a way that actually reduces risk, discover risk mitigation techniques, design even the most extreme environments, and how to sell premium in small accounts and or retirement accounts. By the way, everything I do here on Tasty, inside of this one account, this where I'm tying up $460 in margin, that is, okay, an IRA account. So you can't say, oh, you can't sell premium in an IRA. You absolutely can, right? Open a Tastyworks account now. 90 days of TheoTrade membership, totally on the house. You're also going to score yourself a ticket, and you need to do this quick because, and one of the reasons we're incentivizing people to open up a Tastyworks account, Brandon Chapman starts a new Ultima Trades Mastermind. That is, listen, you're going to watch, okay? You're going to watch a 5-hour class, right? Specific on Ultima. But in addition to that, to cover every nuance to get you up to speed faster, okay, we built a 6-week mastermind where you're going to go to these classes. They're like 90 minutes, okay, every week. It's anywhere from an hour to 90 minutes every week. He gives you a little bit of homework, a couple of videos to watch. It's to get you ramped up in the most efficient, okay, way we know. Plus, depending upon your deposit size at Tastyworks, they're also going to hand you cash bonuses. So if you have an account from $5,000 to $25,000, they give you an extra. That is Tastyworks. They give you $100 cash, $500 cash, $2,000 cash. Again, put all of that aside. You get 90 days of TheoTrade, and you get a $1,000 mastermind included for opening up an account right now. All you have to do is go to theotrade.com/Tastyworks. And I'll pop this up here so that everybody can see it. Again, it's theotrade.com, okay, /Tastyworks. By the way, people always ask questions about Tastyworks if you're unfamiliar with it, okay? Is Tastyworks, is it SIPC insured? Of course. Tastyworks obviously clears through none other than Apex. Apex actually carries insurance above and beyond. If you're unfamiliar, yes, you can open up IRAs there. So all of the different account types. Tastyworks was acquired by a firm out of Europe called IG. It is a multi-billion-dollar firm. They acquired Tastyworks, closed the deal recently. It was $1 billion acquisition. So it's a little background, of course, on Tastyworks. Again, it's TheoTrade.com/Tastyworks. In addition to this, I just wanted to reiterate, you also get the inflection point spreads class. Inflection point spreads, okay, are a variation of Ultima. Okay, it's a variation of Ultima, and it's an additional 3-hour class. You get access to this as well. An inflection point, what inflection point does is it teaches you how to hedge and how to sell premium in one transaction. If you really want to know the differentiation, what's Ultima and what's inflection point, okay? It's the same logic of selling premium. The difference, inflection point, okay, teaches, again, hedge and premium sale in one transaction. It's a very, very clean way to do it. Again, learn to sell premium and hedge in one transaction, okay? And again, you're gonna learn how to do this in any account size. What our members are saying, because of Theo, I closed my entire portfolio with profits, 0 loss, I'm all in cash. Figured I'd throw that one out there because I love hearing that stuff. You know, people are all like, how much money did you make? How about this? Markets are down over 20% year-to-date basis. Okay, we got clients, they're coming out of this and they're doing well, right? Bonuses. We go beyond one class or one indicator. We give you everything here at TheoTrade that you're going to want to invest, okay, trade all at one place and one price, right? We give you a quick start beginner's guide. So by the way, all of this is totally incorporated in TheoTrade. And I think I should probably bring this up. This is TheoTrade. Welcome to TheoTrade. This is the start here menu. Okay, this is like the first bonus, right? Where we actually take you through options 101, 201, 301, all, okay, the classes to get you ramped up. Bonus number 2, you get access to over 100 trading classes, okay? At TheoTrade, we do stuff real differently, like really different. We have classes, okay? And classes come, every couple of months, we'll just add a new class. Option classes, option newbies, technical analysis, futures and bonds, stocks, day trading, hedging, trend trading, pairs, okay? Mindset, you name it, we have it. When you come over to the option classes, okay? We just did a brand new class called Flyby. I did that one. Okay, Z spreads, inflection points, income accelerator, Ultima. Okay, these are all recent classes, okay, that are out. And if you want to see a class, like for instance, if I want to watch inflection point right now, just click on it. I'm telling you guys, after you open up the Tasty account, you get access to this. It's yours. Like, and again, you can download it. You can see the exact date and time. I actually hosted this class a couple of months ago. All right, we cleaned it up. It's ready to go. So you get access to this. In addition to this, right? Okay. In addition to over 100 classes, we also give you access to our chat room. Okay. What's our chat room? It's a chat room. It's live. It's live right now. Let's go to the actual member chat room. Okay. When I say it's live right now, what time is it? Oh, it's Tony Rago time. Tony's actually a day trader. He's day trading Nasdaq futures. Right. You can actually trade with Tony throughout the course of the day.
Look at the ATR. Now it's under 8.
So he's actually calling out different trades and saying 88 is still open. Okay, the aggressive long is 77. He's literally giving you trades throughout the course of the day. We broadcast for 6.5 hours every single day. By the way, you can email any of our instructors. It's all included. This is like another $1,000. Okay, most education firms would charge for every class. Most education firms would charge another $300 a month just for a chat room. It's all incorporated here. The instructors, Jeff Bierman, Matt Williamson, Corey Rosenblum, Brandon Chapman, Steve Miller, okay, Tony Rago, Blake Young, okay, and of course myself. But this is actually our crew. Jeff Bierman's a CMT, Corey Rosenblum's a CMT, Brandon Chapman's a CMT. There are major investment banks that do not have 3 CMTs on their crew, all right? Pretty critical. It's our crew working from home on some COVID days. Continuing on, access to 59 proprietary indicators and scans. If we ever build a proprietary indicator and scan, we turn it over to you. We do not sell indicators. Just wanted you guys to know that, right? The TheoTheo Live portfolio. What I was referencing earlier, the portfolio, you get to see the portfolio. It's the TheoTheo portfolio, and we actually send text alerts out to you. We also have the TheoTheo small portfolio. It's full disclosure on all trades, opening, closing, hedging positions. You see it all, okay? Obviously, it's like a spreadsheet, the ultimate TheoTheo portfolio. We discussed that earlier. In addition, I know that not everybody can watch every nuance of every day and 6.5 hours a day. You don't have to watch. Every Friday, we do a 12-minute video. In 12 minutes, we update you on all the trades that we did throughout the course of the week. So if you're selling premium and a little confused on a Friday, you can actually tune in, and in 12 minutes, we'll update you on everything. Bonus 5, technical analysis toolkit. Bonus 6, the day trading treasure chest. Okay, again, different genres of trade: technical analysis, day trading, mindset mastery. Here's the 5 essential building blocks to successful trading with Steve Miller. I'll tell you right now, pay $1,000 if you just went out and tried to find this class. It's part of TheoTrade. It's incorporated. Okay. Bonus number 8, the quick start guide to ultimate trades. Right? This gets you ramped up. It's kind of like if you bought a new piece of technology, open up like a quick start guide. This will get you ramped up in selling premium in no time. Again, what our members are saying, thank you for your reply. It's much appreciated. TheoTrade is the first educational trading service I'm actually making a profit, and one, okay, with I can actually see a pathway to retirement. So we include everything: classes and coaching and email access to the instructors and a live trading room, live trades, indicator scans, mobile access, everything you're going to need to succeed. The way we look at it, TheoTrade is the Netflix for traders. But again, when you start looking at our site, okay, what is on here? If there's something in this business, okay, if there's something in this business that you need, we'll provide it. I'm much more of a quantitative option geek, but if you're into technical analysis, we have Jeff Bierman. Jeff Bierman's also a professor of finance at DePaul University in Chicago. Okay, we have everything in here. Look at all the portfolios we give you access to, archives. Okay, Theo Invest. I mean, it doesn't stop. All right, we have tremendous amount of content on this site. Okay, it's all incorporated. Just go to theotrade.com/tastyworks now, and obviously open up a Tasty account, fund it. We give you access to everything here. Okay, my closed year-to-date profit from Ultimate Trades has paid for my yearly TheoTrade subscription. Okay, again, Ultima Quick Start Beginner's Guide, over 100 trading classes. We give you access to the chat room, and we give you email access to the instructors. Just email access to the instructors. Email us one time in the next couple of months. Okay, it's going to be worth your while. By the way, somebody was asking me, they go, what's it going to cost after 3 months if you wanted to keep doing this? It's $297. We don't, there's no upcharge, it's not introductory. It's $297 after that. But again, the first 3 months is on us. The TheoTheo Live portfolio, technical analysis toolkit, day trading treasure chest, mindset mastery, and Ultimate Trades quick start guide. So Ultima, okay, the Ultimate Trades, it's yours. 90 days of TheoTrade membership, totally on the house. You score yourself a ticket to Brandon Chapman's, okay, mastermind. And the mastermind is literally, it's 6 weeks of intensive work to get you ready to be able to sell premium effectively for years to come. So it's $1,000, and we do charge $1,000 for that. Okay, that is the offer right now. You got to get the account open and funded between now and October 31st. And again, does it leave you limited time? Yeah, but it takes 2 seconds to open up. 2 seconds to open up the Tasty account. Funding, okay, is just as easy. So go to theotrade.com/tastyworks. Okay, Jeremiah, my first 4 trades are following exactly your details in the Ultimate class, just closed out, good till canceled, set right after getting into the trade. Paid for the class in less than a week. Remember, almost everybody that's come through TheoTrade, there's over 6,000 active people here at TheoTrade. Everybody's paid for this. Doing a deal where you can just open up an account through Tastyworks, that's relatively new to us. Again, what our members are saying about us, I'm going to answer a couple of questions, and then we'll wrap up a little bit here, but I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable here. Okay. By the way, Scott was asking, what if you already have a Tasty account? There are several different variations of accounts that you can actually open, or you can elect, if you so choose, you can elect to go and you can enroll for TheoTrade. It's $297. Okay. And I'll tell you what, if you were to enroll for TheoTrade right now, we'll set you up probably with the mentorship. I'll say probably. I'll set you up with the mentorship if you enroll. Shoot us an email on the side. Okay. Because some people have the Tastyworks account already, and I get it. So basically, if you really wanted to enroll right now, you could for $297. And then, of course, we'll set you up with Brandon's membership. But you can also open up an E-Trade account, Tradier account, Magnify account. We just posted those into the room. So I want to make this clear. You don't need anything really to get started here other than an internet connection. You don't even really need a laptop anymore. I think you can do this pretty much off of an iPad. right? If you have an iPad or an Android tablet. By the way, we don't do memberships anymore. We don't auto renew or auto bill. So when you actually open up the Tastyworks account, you're not even giving us a credit card number. Like you're in. And after 3 months comes up, we say, would you like to do this again? It's $297. We do weekly updates. You can see all the moves we make. We archive absolutely everything. Okay. So as you're going along over here, if there's something that you missed, by all means, make sure we're good. Anyway, we archive absolutely every word spoken on TheoTrade. I mean, you may have a favorite instructor, you can watch them anytime. So again, there are, 8 full-time instructors, and everybody kind of gets a time slot throughout the course of the day. We provide access to TheoTrade Mobile. You can download archives. You can actually view anything you want off your mobile application. Add your cell phone number when you're enrolling, and we'll get you set up for push notifications. Okay. Email us anytime, receive a response within 24 hours. By the way, that's trade related questions. And I emphasize that because a lot of people are not really familiar. Like, a lot of education firms say, we can't really answer that. I'm telling you right now, most of our instructors here, okay, stem from the brokerage industry. By the way, our instructors all have a minimum of 15 years of experience, okay? And that's active experience as traders, brokerage side of the business, hedge fund managers. We'll answer your trade related questions. You can come right at us and say, this is what I'm thinking. This is the trade I'm doing. Is this going to work? And we'll give you very, very, quick and effective answers on that. Number 8, you're going to gain access to every course that we've done, all right, over the last 5 years, classes, coaching, all of it. Variations of the trades are available inside of an IRA. So at Tastyworks, you can do pretty much anything you want inside of an IRA, and that's important. All right, we can help you get approved for options trading. Obviously, Tastyworks is the place that we are going to tell you right now. There's no levels of options trading there. Okay, it's important. So check it out. And again, I'm going to answer a couple of questions for you guys as we kind of cruise along here. Make sure we're good. All right, everybody, if you do have specifics, by all means, fire them in over here. Okay. Somebody was asking, do I sell index options? Absolutely. Nothing wrong with index options whatsoever. That's probably the biggest genre, okay, of where we head. Where we typically head would be into anything S&P 500 related, the Nasdaq, it works. Okay. Timothy was asking, the hedge scares me. Okay. I don't know what to do with it. The hedge actually not only shouldn't scare you, the hedge is just an evil necessity. 9 out of 10 times, you won't even look at the hedge. You just open the hedge, close the hedge, open the hedge, close the hedge. Okay. Maybe twice a year, you may actually have to use your hedge. It's kind of like, if you will, like flying an aircraft. 99% of the time in the aircraft, nothing happens. Once in a while, you're like, whoa, okay. Address like, what do I do when the market, tanks? And we actually have detailed criteria for when that hedge actually kicks in. By the way, the amount of capital you can trade in here is never going to be a question. If you wanted to really amp this up and have several $1 million in it, you absolutely could into premium selling. That was one of the questions that actually popped in over here. In terms of small accounts, yes, no, small accounts are part of this. And again, I have a portfolio that you can follow that is designed for $2,000 or $5,000 accounts. And that is done right here, again, right here on the Tastyworks platform. So with that, once again, I want to throw this up here. It's TheoTrade.com/Tastyworks. Open up a Tastyworks account now. Okay. We will actually get you all set up with, again, it's 3 months, of course, to the TheoTrade site, including, of course, Brandon Chapman's mentorship. That will kick off. Okay. That mentorship kicks off on Halloween. So don't worry. It's before the fun stuff starts happening on Halloween, but we'll kick that mentorship off on October 31st. I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today. If you need to get a hold of us after today's session, okay, by all means, just shoot us an email. Again, you're opening up a brokerage account over here. Shoot us an email, support@TheoTrade.com, support@TheoTrade.com. We're more than happy to answer any questions relating to account openings. Thanks, everybody, and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.